with something, who do you turn to for assistance? The answer will probably depend upon what you're trying to do. If you're having a problem with your car, you'll most likely want to ask a mechanic. If you're trying to write an essay, you'd be better off asking an English teacher. You always want to find the right person for the job. Think about how helpful it would be if you could customize the expertise of the people you seek advice from, just like picking skills from a menu. When we interact with AI tools like ChatGPT, we have the unique opportunity to do just this, and to shape the identity of our virtual assistant. Unlike human experts, ChatGPT doesn't come with a fixed personality or perspective. It molds itself to fit our needs, adopting the communication style, tone, and background knowledge that we specify. This means that ChatGPT can, in effect, become an economist, a fitness coach, or even a skilled impersonator of a celebrity or literary character, depending on how we frame our prompts. In this video, I'll dive into how to effectively assign these identities to ChatGPT. You'll learn how specifying certain characteristics can dramatically alter how the AI understands and responds to your queries, enhancing its usefulness for any task at hand. The first step in giving ChatGPT an identity is deciding on the role it should play. Ask yourself, what task do I need help with? What kind of expert would usually provide the best advice? This could range from a scientist explaining complex theories to a coach offering motivational tips. Once you've defined the role, the next step is to craft a prompt that clearly communicates this identity to ChatGPT. For instance, if you need help with understanding Shakespeare, you might start your prompt with, "As an English literature professor, how would you interpret this passage from Hamlet?" This tells ChatGPT to adopt the knowledge base and analytical skills typical of a literature professor. Let's look at a few examples of how including an identity in AI prompts can produce better, or at least different and potentially useful results. So first, I'm going to give the AI this task. Provide a 100-word description of how to start your own business. I'm just going to see what the generic ChatGPT identity produces. Okay, so you can see it gives pretty generic advice here. Let's say that rather than just asking it to do this task of saying how I should start my own business, if I want advice from someone specific, a real expert in this field, let's say someone like Steve Jobs, let's see what it comes up with then. As you can see, the advice that it gives here is pretty different. And depending on what you're looking for, one of these would be more useful than the other. Let's compare the results that we get from giving ChatGPT a task but not specifying an identity versus telling it exactly the role that we want it to play. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to give it the task, provide a list of 3 class starter activities for a college course on intercultural communication. Okay, so it gives, I think, some pretty decent suggestions. These may or may not work, depending on what you're going for. Let's see the results now when we give ChatGPT a more precise identity. Okay, so let's say that in this situation, it's an expert in the field of international business with a PhD in business administration. Let's see what it comes up with then. Okay, so very different kinds of results, very different suggestions, ones that are maybe a little bit more applicable to a more industry-focused class, all of these responses can be useful, but when we give ChatGPT a clear identity, it's going to really tailor its response to the particular goals of someone who would have that identity and would be for performing that kind of role. Before we conclude, it's important to address some limitations when assigning identities to ChatGPT. ChatGPT operates within the scope of its training data, which only includes information up to a certain date. It only knows what it was trained on and doesn't truly have the same knowledge base as a real specialist. ChatGPT sometimes makes very confident statements that seem true, but which actually contain errors that an actual subject matter expert would be able to recognize. While ChatGPT can simulate the communication style and basic knowledge of various roles, it does not replace genuine expertise. In addition, ChatGPT has a limited memory. It may forget the role it was supposed to play at a certain point in your conversation and cease to formulate its responses in a manner suitable for the identity that you gave it. Even with these limitations, the benefits of giving ChatGPT a specific identity are clear. Thanks for watching, and happy experimenting.